piece of paper before giving a speech. So if there are a lot of people speaking before you, or even if they're not, I would say that take the last 2 minutes before your speech to calm yourself down. Go through these points, probably read them out loud, probably go over your speech in your head, probably talk to someone and give your speech to that person. But make sure that these pointers are not really, really long sentences. So I've seen a lot of times people forget what they have to say next, right? We're really nervous that, oh, I might forget the order, I might forget something really important. But if you have pointers written in front of you, even if you forget, you just look at that one word and it's going to help you. I don't know how many of you have given board exams, and I don't know how many of you are social science students, but if you are, you will probably relate to what I'm saying when I say that, oh, you have answers worth 4 pages, and you can't rote learn 4 pages until unless you know the important headings. So this is something that's very, very important for you to structure your speech. And that's how you go about structuring your speech. Make sure that you're not a person who has this huge print of your speech and you're looking down and reading. Because when you look down, your voice sort of goes down. So when you're addressing the audience, this is something that, of course, we'll cover later about sort of having an interaction with the audience and looking them in the eye. But it's very important for you to look up while you're talking. And say, for example, you have a piece of paper like this small diary that I have. You can just hold it over here if and when you need it. Because I'm addressing you, but I can also look at the points that I might have written over here. So make sure that you're not looking down and reading. Make sure that you're straight and you're addressing your gathering. And even if you skip a point, that's completely okay. It's very, very important for you to know that there are people who stumble, who fumble, who might forget points. But in that moment, you're not supposed to feel like I've messed up everything. You're supposed to take a step back, probably breathe for 5 seconds and move to the next point, or move to the points that you do remember, because it's only you who know your own speech, right? So somebody who hasn't heard it before will never understand the things that you skipped, or will not judge you on the things that you skipped. So if you can, don't get hassled in the moment. Try and maintain your calm, because while addressing a gathering, it's very, very important for you to be very calm and maintain your posture, even if you know that there's something going wrong, or say, for example, a technical glitch happens, if the electricity goes off, or you have a presentation in the back and it stops playing. You have to be equipped enough to remember some of the things that were there in the presentation till the time it comes back, or be impromptu enough to interact with the audience till things are getting fixed. So maintain your calm, even though that it's possible that you have a lot of things going on in your mind, but your presence of mind plays a very, very important role. The way that you give your speech is something that is very, very important. So I don't know how many of you have compared before in your life, but I remember one trick that I was taught in school. So say, for example, there is a particular word that you have to pay a lot of emphasis on, or there is a switch in paragraph, or there is a switch in theme about what you're talking. Pauses are something very, very important. And the kind of voice modulation that you have is also very important. While interacting with you, you will also see that I have voice modulation. I am pausing at bits that I think are very important. And I'm also not going slow enough for you to lose focus. Neither am I going fast enough for you to lose focus. So make sure that you take enough pauses and divide your speech in such a manner that people keep track of what you're saying and also paying attention to what you're saying. A trick to do this is, say, for example, you have your speech written in front of you. Just make these bars in front of things that you think are very important, or things that you want to take a pause. This is a strategy that you can probably use for a speech that's prepared beforehand, while you're practicing, or while you're giving a speech to someone before you actually give the real speech, or you're practicing in front of the mirror, you're recording yourself, any of those things. Make sure that you are paying attention to the pauses that you're taking, because a lot of times people will skip the adverbs, the adjectives, or the sentences, but will listen to the last word of the sentence, or will listen to what you said when you paused. So right now I'm doing that. I'm doing exactly that. I'm making sure that I pause at the points where I want you to take a second and sink in what I have said. So pauses are something that are very important. Voice modulation, I feel like, is something that does come with experience and that does come with time. So, like I said, none of us are born really good public speakers. It's something that we gain after speaking so many times, after maybe picking up things and skills from other people who we've heard. So, what I would say is, if you know that, oh, I really look up to this person, he's such a good orator or she's such a good orator, find them on YouTube. Look at these TED Talks, look at these speeches given by presidents or diplomats or sort of representatives of political parties, listen to the people from the UN. But to those people who actually keep you engaged, who, while you're listening to, you're not looking at your phone or you're not listening to someone else or scrolling on Instagram, people who actually catch your attention, look at the things that they're doing and try and pick up those skills. Of course, I'm giving you a list of things that you can do, but how I probably address a gathering is going to be very different from how you do it, and all of us are going to have unique styles. So this is something that I feel like one should definitely do. Clarity. While you're speaking, make sure that you're not speaking like this, that you can only understand what you're saying. You probably didn't hear what I said. So I'm saying that when you're speaking, make sure you're loud and clear enough. This is again something that comes only with time, and it will come with practice, especially with speeches that you can prepare beforehand. I would definitely recommend going through those speeches with someone or by looking in the mirror. I think that's the best thing that you can do. Look in the mirror and practice. You yourself will probably realize that, oh, I don't think that was a good way to say it. Maybe I can sort of add this exclamation. Maybe I can add this emotional context to it. So make sure that you are sort of practicing these things, but in something like an impromptu speech or a debate where you're just giving the topic on the spot. It's very, very important for you to be clear while you're making your points, because your research might be A1, your vocabulary might be A1, but if you don't address the gathering in a proper way, they will A, not listen to what you're saying, and B, they will probably not even write what you're saying because they can't figure it out, and nobody can stop you in the middle and say, oh, can you please repeat? Nobody really does that, especially for public speaking. If you're not at an informal setting, nobody is going to stand up and say, oh, I skipped that point. Skipping a point also means that they may or may not listen to the rest of your speech because they might not be able to draw the connection. So there has to be a constant pressure on you from yourself to be clear and to be very, very calm, of course, and to make pauses. This is something that I feel like speech really requires. Another thing that there is there that I want you to focus on is, of course, your confidence. Confidence is key to anything and anywhere that you are. Create a group discussion, be it an MUN, be it your speech, be it your farewell speech, your, I don't know, inauguration speech, any sort of speech that there is. People really, really admire public speakers who have a lot of confidence, and confidence will only come when you're prepared, right? So if you have your speech ready, if you have your pointers ready, and you know you're going to ace it, because why not? All of us can ace our speeches, and I know that you guys have the potential to ace it, so then why not? Confidence is also very important for you to realize that you're not going to mess up. So if you're confident, there is nothing in the world that can take away from your speech. You will address the gathering, you will be strong, and you will be focused, and you will be in the time zone. This is this piece of advice that I'm going to give is probably for a place where you have to answer question and answers, or for an MUN where people ask you points of information, or for a group discussion, or for even an interview. There are two things that you can do when somebody asks you a question. A, you know the answer and you know how to respond, then you respond. B, you don't know the answer to something. So that has two sub-points. You very confidently say that, oh, this is all I know. Tell them a little about what you know, and then say, I don't know this, and I would want to research more on it. And if you can play it smart, of course, I don't recommend this, but if you can play smart, talk about the things that you know around it, revolve around the point, and try playing with the answer. Try connecting it to other things that you might know. And sometimes that